Welcome to the Graffiti Action Day training video, presented by Keep Australia Beautiful New South Wales and SoSafe Specialty Products. The Graffiti Action Day is an Australian first initiative giving New South Wales residents an opportunity to take a stand against graffiti vandalism once and for all. Graffiti Action Day will see volunteers from all over the state contributing to cleaning up graffiti in their local area. The primary objectives of this initiative are to engage the community in the removal of graffiti at a local level, to raise awareness of the safe and effective graffiti removal methods available, and to support the community-run facilities in repairing damage caused by graffiti. How does graffiti impact on the community? Graffiti can generate a perception of gang and drug activity. It perpetuates a feeling of insecurity by local residents and lowers the desirability of towns, including property prices, which often leads to urban decay. The graffiti removal chemicals used on Graffiti Action Day will be issued by the local council. They are biodegradable, pH neutral, non-flammable, low odour, non-corrosive and non-toxic. They are the safest graffiti remover available to the market. When using graffiti removal chemicals, we recommend that you wear gloves, enclosed safety goggles and enclosed shoes for your protection. In the event a volunteer gets graffiti removal chemical on their skin, we recommend remove contaminated clothing and wash skin thoroughly. If they get the graffiti remover in their eyes, hold the eyes open and flush with fresh water for at least 15 minutes. If swallowed, do not induce vomiting, give a glass of water and take them to a medical practitioner. Graffiti removal, the basics. Professional graffiti removal is a skill set that requires both expertise and equipment to master. The following section of the video will introduce you to the basic techniques of graffiti removal with illustrated examples. We will cover the process to remove graffiti from the most common substrates faced, bearing in mind that Graffiti Action Day will be conducted without the use of specialist high-pressure water equipment. For specific situational advice, you may contact our helpline on 02 9938 1800 or email sales@sosafe.com.au. The three key variables in graffiti removal are chemical, time and agitation. When reducing one variable, the other variables must be increased to successfully remove graffiti. Chemical. Choosing the correct product for the surface is imperative to achieving great results. During Graffiti Action Day, there will be two graffiti removal kit types, SoSafe Green and Blue Kit. The SoSafe Green kit is for sensitive surfaces such as colorbond, plastics, bin, playground equipment, perspex, billboard poster glue, and some painted concrete and wood surfaces. In some situations, the graffiti may have damaged the substrate below. In this event, the best option is to repaint the surface. A good example would be an old graffiti tag on a wooden painted door. The SoSafe Blue graffiti removal kit is for non-sensitive surfaces. These surfaces include brick, stone, tiles, and raw metals. Some non-sensitive surfaces may require the strength of SoSafe professional range of graffiti removers to clean the surface back to their original condition. In the event the location has very old graffiti or multi-layered graffiti, these areas should not necessarily be attempted with the kits. These locations should be forwarded to the council. The longer the graffiti remover is left on the surface, the deeper the graffiti remover will penetrate. Therefore, on a non-sensitive surface, the longer the graffiti remover has to contact with the graffiti, the better. In the case of a sensitive surface, such as tagging on a painted surface, the user must be careful not to leave the graffiti remover on too long, otherwise the underlying paint could be damaged. Agitation. The purpose of graffiti remover is to break the bond between the graffiti and the substrate. The purpose of agitation is to move the graffiti away from the surface. There are a variety of agitation methods available to the graffiti removalist, depending on the substrate at hand. On non-sensitive surfaces such as brick, the best method is to use high-pressure washer blasting. In the event this is not available, I recommend that you use the brush from the kit on rough surfaces. For sensitive surfaces, there are two options, scouring and a rag. The scouring has the ability of lifting the graffiti away from the surface faster, though it is more likely to scratch the surface, so press lightly when using this approach. Warning: always test product surface compatibility prior to removing graffiti. Removing graffiti from a painted door using SoSafe Green. Remember to test the surface for compatibility first. Dry the surface from any excessive moisture. Then apply the graffiti remover product with a sprayer or onto a rag directly to the surface. Give the surface about 10 seconds for the graffiti remover to penetrate. Give the graffiti a bit of a rub with a light scourer or with a rag. You should see the graffiti release. In the case that it hasn't released yet, allow a little extra time. Once the graffiti has released from the door, wipe the surface with a wet rag to stop the graffiti remover from penetrating the underlying paint. There may be a slight shadow underneath. We will reapply the graffiti remover to finish the job. It is worth noting that the graffiti remover may damage the paint on some older wooden doors. In this situation, a fresh coat of paint may be required. To remove graffiti from painted metal, plastics and signs, we use the same technique as seen in the painted door scenario. Test the surface for compatibility. Apply the SoSafe Green product to the surface. Scrub with a light scourer or with a brush, lightly. The graffiti should release. Once the graffiti has released, wipe over with a wet rag or hose down the surface to stop the graffiti remover penetrating the surface anymore. To clean a traffic sign, apply SoSafe Green to a rag or a scourer, scrub onto the surface, wait about 5 to 10 seconds, and then wipe off with a wet rag. Removing graffiti from raw wood can be difficult, as the graffiti penetrates the fibres, though it is possible to get reasonable results with some patience and some elbow grease. Allow at least 3 minutes for penetration time prior to scrubbing the surface, and pressure blast the surface for best results. If the graffiti persists, we recommend painting the surface out. Limitations. Some non-sensitive surfaces may require the strength of SoSafe professional range of graffiti removers to clean the surface back to their original condition. In the event the location has very old graffiti or multi-layered graffiti, the location should not necessarily be attempted without high-pressure washing equipment. Any partially cleaned areas should be reported back to the council for final cleanup. To clean raw brick or a concrete wall, you will need to use SoSafe Blue Label graffiti remover. SoSafe Blue graffiti remover is water neutralized, so ensure the wall is dry prior to removing graffiti. Apply a liberal amount of graffiti remover to the tag surface, ensuring the graffiti remover is in contact with the whole tag. Make sure you spray into the crevices also. Wait a minimum of 5 minutes, then scrub the surface with a brush. Apply more graffiti remover to make the paint more mobile. Once the graffiti appears to be loose, brush on some water. There will be a slight foaming action. This foam will help carry the graffiti away. Rinse the surface with water. If any graffiti remains, apply SoSafe Green and repeat the aforementioned steps. To clean raw metals, you will need to use SoSafe Blue Label graffiti remover. SoSafe Blue Label graffiti remover is water neutralized, so ensure the surface is dry prior to removing graffiti. Apply a liberal amount of graffiti remover to the tag surface, ensuring the graffiti remover is in contact with the whole tag. Wait approximately 1 minute, then scrub the surface with a brush, scour or rag. The graffiti should release very quickly. Apply more graffiti remover if required. Once the graffiti has released from the surface, rinse the surface down and the job is done. From everyone at Keep Australia Beautiful and So Safe, we wish to thank you for contributing to a cleaner and safer Australia. For any further inquiries, please visit us at the Keep Australia Beautiful website, www.kabnsw.org.au.